Down by the lot near the old cafe, where the sun fries cars all night and day, there's a wild crew doing what they do. Yeah, you know them, the parking lot crew. Refugees with moves so tight, waving cars in left and right. 10 ways to say, yo, park that straight. 12 for bro, you're 20 late. Neanderthals in safety vests, snack in hand, but doing their best. One grunted loud, broke out in a jig. Turns out he just wants a parking gig. Canines bark like they run the block. Chased a drone down, beat the clock. One gave change with a tail wag spin. That dog's got tips and a toothy grin. Who you gonna call when the lot gets loud? Parking cones up and they're drawing a crowd. Whistles blow and the scooters fly. It's a parking crew and they're riding high. From the streets of town to the lot bazaar, they'll guard your ride like a superstar. Yeah, from Josie streets to America, it's the funky, fearless parking lot crew. Car guard shout near the garbage bin. Who parks skill? You let them in. They blow their whistles in perfect time, like a backup band with a traffic sign. Then here comes Wyatt, the colonel boss. Duct tape boots and a look that's sauce. Rides a scooter with flashing beams. Salutes pigeons, yells at ice cream. Men, dogs, apes form a line. No dents, no scrapes, no overtime. If they park like chaos, made a plan. Fight them twice and be the man. Who's got the beat in a vested hat? Parking legends funky like that. Guard your eye with soul and flair, and a hi-fi breeze in the summer air. From this lie here to America, it's the wild, proud parking lot crew.
Sunsets and skies so blue, mountains whisper stories of dreams so true. From oceans roaring wild to valleys deep, a heartbeat of a nation that will not sleep. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall, for the power is the people's above it all. Save South Africa, rise above the storm. Hands together strong, a new world is born. Beauty in our hearts, let it light the way. Evil cannot reign when we seize the day. People sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The people sing louder than shadows can scream. Together we're stronger than the wicked scheme. The soil holds our history, roots run so long. A melody of freedom, we're singing strong. They may curse the land with lies they weave, then weave, but we hold the truth in what we believe. Their crowns may crumble, their thrones may fall.
There we go. Hey guys, welcome back. Yeah, well the mic was off. I had it turned off. Sorry about that. Pardon me while I fill up my Women's Rugby World Cup ball from 2021. This is a little fan ball. Yeah, sorry about that. So, doesn't sound good. Sounds like all the air is coming out of it. Anyway, yeah, I'm filling it up. This is from the 2021 Women's World Cup in New Zealand, which I didn't go to. I had tickets to it. I purchased tickets. I signed up in 2019, bought the tickets in 2020, and then was supposed to go in 2021. But the cowards in New Zealand wouldn't let anybody in the country, so we couldn't do it, and they held it in 2022. The problem with 2022 is that in the meantime, the Rugby League World Cup, which I also had tickets to in England, was postponed to 2022. And 2022 was the normal time frame for the Sevens World Cup, which presented a conundrum for me. I still intended to go to New Zealand, which was going to be very difficult, but I was going to do it anyway. So I wound up going to the Sevens World Cup in Cape Town. Okay. There we go. Okay. Cool. There we go. It's a little better inflation there. I went to the Sevens World Cup in Cape Town, and then I went to the Rugby League, but I did not go to the Women's World Cup. So I have the kit, the T-shirts, and all the stuff from the Women's World Cup, which I didn't go in 2021, which was played in 2022. But I am going to the Women's World Cup this year, so I will be watching that again. Canada ranked number 2. I think they'll do pretty well. And I'm actually inflating with this little mini one I picked up at a Total station when I picked up some merchandise. This is from the 2023 Men's World Cup. It's not my regular pump. This is a small one, but it does the trick. So anyway, we'll get to the refugee stuff here in just a moment, folks. A little bit of patience. Thank you. My microphone is not muted, Lewis. You're behind time. Microphone has been turned on for 3 minutes. You are 3 minutes behind the stream. Jump ahead when you hear that. Jump ahead and join the rest of us in real time, because you're not in real time. You're trailing behind. Anyway, there you go. There you go, folks. All right, so that one's reinflated. All right, welcome back. So, refugees, you got questions. Hopefully you've got answers. All right. Took a while. What's this? To me to notice the pump. Yes, I was pumping air into my rugby ball. They deflate over time. Those two are holding up pretty well. I haven't had to, the one on the left, that collector's item, that's lost a little bit of air. The one on the right holds up very well, but they both probably need some air too. But I have the full-size pump for that. So you've all been as well behaved this week, so let's rip your hearts out with your refugee time. Okay. Does all states have refugee agent? States don't have refugee agents, Lizette Mayer. The refugee agent is a non-government organization that handles that. That's done by non-government organizations, not by the states. So your question, I think, that you're trying to ask is, are there refugee agents in every state? I don't know that there are. I do know that we tend to send refugees to 48 states. There are exceptions. There have been people sent to Alaska in the past, but you generally don't go to Hawaii. Hawaii is incredibly expensive, so we don't send people there to set them up for failure. Excuse me a second. This is not working out quite right, so I need to take a peek at this and see what the problem is. God bless it. Oh, it doesn't screw on. It just pops on. That's why. Okay, I thought this screwed on. Okay, so that's why I couldn't screw it on. It won't screw on. Yeah, so, yeah, the lower 48. Why do you ask? I'm curious. Why do you ask? Yep. So, Lizette, that's the answer. Never forget the two drunk Englishmen and Doris singing at the top of their voices. Didn't hear about that. I'm going to open an Africana bar in Texas and call it the Krug. Okay, I think anybody come around for Clippies. Okay, Peter, enjoy Texas. Not my cup of tea. Leonie Watley, Gabi's here. Okay. Peter Faree, good evening from Ootshorn. Lizette Mayer, okay. The Watergate sound much better as a pub. Watergate, I don't know about that. Welcome, guys. As a March fair estimates approximately 18 million. And yes, this is 11% higher than a June 23. I estimate the figure to be significantly higher than 18 million. I've always said 20 to 30 million. Yep. Hey, Chris Mattia, what's going on there? Rebel Refugees here. Okay. Ready for another awesome program. Well, thank you for that, Andre. Thanks for being here, folks. Be sure to hit the like button. Just 300 of you done it so far. What are you waiting for, an answer you will like before you hit the like button? That flag just keeps acting up. There we go. I got it back in its position there. It's supposed to be centered on my head. There we go. Anyway, maybe a list of states. A list of what states? There are 50 states, Lizette. What are you asking for? What are you asking for? A list of states? I don't understand. You asked it several minutes ago. I think I've answered the question now. There's no list of states. There's 50 states. I presume you're asking for a list of states that accept refugees. The refugees have no say over accepting, or the states have no say over accepting refugees. The Department of Homeland Security has authority. They decide where people go, not Virginia, not Maryland, not Pennsylvania. So they have no say in the matter. Rentia Shepakaruga, welcome to you. And why are you asking that question? I'm curious. You might have answered my question already. Free car guards at the bar. Well, that's nice. Okay. Lucille Pasos from Durban. Love your songs. I have a smart TV on. Oh, cool. Excellent. Okay. People that like Colonel Chris's videos, if you got time, please make sure you like. Yeah. Also, yeah, I know. I noticed that. I noticed my like totals. And also, I see this when YouTube starts hammering my channel hard again. I notice the number of views after a week or so gets lowered, and the number of likes gets lowered. They do that a lot. It's evil. I don't know why they do that. Going to try some assets before the 9th and buy money. Thought the rand going to take. Vanna, I can't predict what the currency market's going to do. That's a fool's game. It's a fool's errand trying to predict what currency market's going to do. Honestly, that's a tough one. So, yep. Good evening, Johan. How's it going? Brandon says, can't South Africa. What can't South Africa? Can't stand it? Hey, Nicola, what's going on? Yes, I got the mute, guys. I'm catching up now. I'm now only 6 minutes behind you guys, 7 minutes behind in the chat. Ask your financial advisor, Chris does not know the tax laws. No, I'm not an expert in tax laws in South Africa, that's for sure. If we're already classified as a group of qualified as refugee states and are pro-secular, is the articulating persecution important? Well, Sonia, according to the executive order, no. But according to the program statement of interest listed on the website, yes, it is. All you have to have is legitimate fear. That's all, okay? No, I'm not talking to myself, Johan. I was talking to you. The microphone wasn't working. Okay. It took a while for me to notice the pump. Okay, Charmaine. San Angelo, South Idaho, Twin Falls, Sioux Falls to stay as a single mom. Okay. Any news on new arrivals? No, Matthew, I've heard no news on new arrivals in almost a week. That doesn't mean they're not coming. It just means people aren't talking to me. With all the slander that's going on and the misrepresentation of people lying in Facebook groups and in WhatsApp groups about me, I'm not surprised I'm not hearing from other refugees. If they don't know me, they just listen to hate-wanking people in the States and South Africa who are lying about me, and they go, oh, that guy, I wouldn't talk to him. Why would I talk to him? So that's probably why I'm not hearing from folks. Also, the refugees that I talk to on a regular basis, most of them have gone pretty quiet trying to live their lives now. So sorry to hear your internet is breaking up, Andres. That's really a problem on your end, because let me listen to my end. Internet is breaking up, Andres. That's really, yep, see, I can hear it fine on this side. So which states don't have tornadoes? Well, Vikas, Google is your friend. You can you can do a Google map of where hurricanes and earthquakes and things are. Earthquakes occur all over the world, just shifting tectonic plates. The United States, earthquakes are more common in Alaska and California on the tectonic plates of San Andreas Faults in California. But we do have more frequent earthquakes in Missouri. There's a fault line that runs through the center of the United States along the Mississippi Basin, and Missouri is a frequent fault line. But the thing is, the earthquakes are 3 or 4 or 5 on the Richter scale. They're minor. They're nothing, just little tremors, nothing serious. That's pretty much it for earthquakes. They can occur anywhere at any time. As far as hurricanes are tied to the ocean. The hurricanes come along the shore, the coastline. If you're inland, you're not going to face a hurricane. It won't hit you. I live inland, but the Chesapeake Bay is an estuary that is huge. It's the largest freshwater estuary in the world. And hurricanes sometimes can be channeled up that space over the water and over Maryland and find their way into southern Pennsylvania. But we never get hit with a hurricane-like force. We just get with heavy rains occasionally. Maybe once a year max on occasion. If that often. And then tornadoes can occur anywhere, but there is a propensity for them to occur in places like in the Midwest where there's nothing to stop them, and the weather patterns change. There's no natural barriers, no mountains, no hills to stop them, and so they whip around and they find their way. But those things can happen anywhere. So I mean, if you're going to live your life based on mystical hurricanes and tornadoes and things, then maybe you should stay in South Africa, where they have earthquakes and floods. Good evening. Thank you for your patience and all you do. You're very welcome, Andre Labuskakny. At Ian Moore, we like Pennsylvania, but was told the schools do not opt out for LGBT curriculum lessons. Hope that is not true. Gabi, I don't know what you're talking about. Who told you that? What is Ian Moore? What is at Ian Moore? I don't understand with that. Are you talking to somebody named Ian Moore? And who told you that schools force you to learn LGBTQ? They're liars. They're liars. How could someone possibly tell you what the school code is in hundreds, thousands of school districts in Pennsylvania? I ask you that question. Where do they get the information from? Local school boards determine what goes in the curriculum. There are certain standards that must be met by the state, but there's no requirement to teach LGBTQ coursework in Pennsylvania. Okay. For those who are new here, unsure of what, when, and how we can really recommend and cut out noise from weird left media, visit the Wyatt Substack. There you go. Indaba Africa. If one of the mods could put indabaafrica.substack.com in the chat so people can go find that on the upper left-hand side, because it's not the most recent article, is the article that condenses all of the refugee things. What I ask is when you see the link in the video, instead of just putting a play on it and playing it into Substack, there's usually on the bottom left-hand side of each link that says, watch on YouTube. Please click on that so I get credit on YouTube for you having watched it. Otherwise, I don't get credit. Okay? Would existing debt hamper your application to move? No, it has nothing to do with it. It's not a move. Okay, it's not a move, aviation fanatic. It's not a move. If you want to move, then apply to come here as an immigrant. Refugee is not a move. It's escape. So it doesn't affect your escape. We don't care what your debt is. That doesn't abrogate your responsibility to pay the people in South Africa back. It doesn't mean they can't come after you legally, but it doesn't affect it. You can own $10 trillion in South Africa. Nobody gives a flying flip. It's not about your debt. It's not about anything like that. It's not about your age. It's not about your physical impairments. It's not about your sexuality. It's not about your gender. It's about the things that qualify you in the program. Debt doesn't matter. Why do people think debt matters? Where does that come from? You guys really, look, the question's a fine question, aviation fanatic. I'm not attacking you, but I find it bizarre, absolutely bizarre that people ask questions about this and that and the other thing. They do not understand. They think this is a free immigration program. I'm not saying you aviation fanatic, so don't start piling aviation fanatic. But the question was brilliant. Why do people think this is, it's just, oh, well, that's just great. No, it's refugee. It's a chance to help people who are suffering unjust discrimination escape to a safe place where you don't suffer that. Why would any of the other stuff matter? It doesn't. Now, if you're a criminal, if you're a pedo, rapist, murderer, that's going to affect your ability to come here. We're not going to import those people. Only the Biden regime does that. We don't import them. Obama and Trump deport those people. Yep. So I don't get some of these questions. I think the problem is that y'all think this is immigration. Not y'all, but a bunch of y'all. This is an immigration. It's not immigration. It's not immigration. You're not immigrating to America. In effect, you're emigrating from South Africa, but you're not immigrating to America. You're coming as a refugee. Internationally recognized legal status. Legal status. Simple as that. Where was I at? Back to the chat. Thank you, Aviation Fanatic. Your question was spot on and helped me address a number of things. Thank you for that, sir. Or ma'am, whichever the case may be. Okay, wow, we got some super chats coming in which aren't showing up. They also must be very small because not much money is showing up on the screen here. So hang on a second. I got to fix that. Okay, got it. Okay, cool. If I go for an interview, could or should I show how many times I apply for jobs? Yes, absolutely, Peter Feldman. You are spot on. You've hit it nailed on the head. If you've applied for 87 jobs and you show them a CV that shows you're clearly qualified for the jobs you're applying for, and it's pretty obvious to make the determination the only reason you get the job is because your skin color. Bingo. Yep, you absolutely should do that, Peter. They may not ask you that, but be prepared for it. Yep. At least you must come and visit when we're in Texas, says Sandy. Okay, well, I haven't been to Texas in a couple years. JJ Erasmus, 14 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. Chris, I'm doing research on areas. How is Pennsylvania? Hey, Ian Moon. That's what she was writing. She was responding to you. How is Pennsylvania? In what way? In what way, Ian? In what way? Haley Senecal, welcome to you. Husband was unemployed for 2 years, got a job 2 years ago. We met in America on H-2A visas 20 years ago. He's terrified of being sent back, becoming a refugee. Okay, Ronell, hold on. He's not a refugee, so what's he terrified of? Are you saying that once he's a refugee, he thinks he'll be sent back to South Africa? No, that's nonsense. Let me clarify this for people because it seems to be lost on some folks, okay? Refugee status is not tied to who's in office, okay? The president cannot determine who goes home unless it's granted under certain circumstances. Refugee status in this case is not temporary protected status, but it is actually permanent refugee status. As long as you comply and you meet the standards, it can't be rescinded. They won't send you home. Thank you, Brett. Well, Brett Sessom. Geez, I haven't seen you in years. I see you on Ronaldo's channel all the time. Thank you for the super chat. So it cannot be rescinded unless you do something that invalidates it. Like you lied, you willfully omitted information to defraud the American government, then you can be sent back. If you commit crimes here, you can be sent back, but it's much more likely we'll put you in prison here and have to pay for your upkeep and care. No, doesn't matter. You're not going to be sent back as a refugee. Again, for emphasis, Liberians came here under temporary protected status in 1990 to avoid a civil war. They're still here. They were only given 3 years. 32 years ago, that 3 years ran out. They're still here. And every time it comes time for them to be sent back to Liberia, they lobby Washington, the Black Congressional Caucus, and then they get to stay here because the congressmen are cowards and won't send them back. Okay, got to turn that off now because the memberships. Every time, guys, every single time. So refugees don't go home. That's why I'm not a big fan of the refugee program. Refugees don't go home. They don't go home. I got no problem with people immigrating here, but refugee people come here, they don't go home. They're supposed to go home when the problem is over. They're supposed to give them temporary status here. Now, you probably heard that Haitians and Venezuelans have lost their protection. That's because Biden illegally gave it to them. Trump has rescinded it because it was illegally granted. He also granted them asylum, not refugee status. So he illegally gave them refugee status, temporary protected status, or asylum status. So that's that. So, Ronell, your concerns aren't legitimate. Hope you're well. I have a question. Can we bring our biker colors? Not active members, honorary members. Yeah, why can't you, Nikki? What's wrong with that? Unless you're putting swastikas on them? I mean, why couldn't you bring your bike colors? We have bikers all over America. New Braunfels. Well, that's where the Krauts live, man. That's where the Krauts live. Caseworker that works with refugees. Correct. How will the new bill in America's healthcare system affect refugees? I don't know. I have seen multiple media outlets claim that refugees have no funding, but I see nothing in the bill so far. It's 1,000 pages that I can find that says that its funding is cut. This, I think, stems from the fact that the big, beautiful bill bans criminal alien invaders from getting Medicaid and cuts funding to states that provide Medicaid benefits to criminal alien invaders like California and others. So I think that the media are lazy and lying. I don't know, but I think, and they're just simply applying what they believe to be the truth to everything. So they're saying immigrants, but it's not immigrants and it's not refugees. It's criminal alien invaders. There's a clear distinction between those three categories of people. So I don't know the status of it because it's very confusing because the media are lying. And I say they're lying because they don't bother the fact. But, if you're going to make that claim in a newspaper article as a fact, then you should have a link or give a clue as to where that's found in the legislation. But they don't do that because they're just trying to mislead people. So I don't know the answer to that, Sue. It's a fair question, but I don't know the answer. But it should have no impact because you would still qualify for things. So you're here legitimately. So a refugee, to be clear, a person with legal refugee status is entitled to everything an American citizen is entitled to in these United States except one thing. You're entitled to all the benefits in your state or at the federal level. You're entitled to in-state tuition if you live in a state, your kids go to university. You're entitled to work. You're entitled to protections against discrimination. You're entitled to everything. There's only one thing that refugees don't get. One thing. You're not a citizen, therefore you can't vote. That's it. That's it. You're not a citizen, therefore you can't vote. I'm really starting to like those two flags behind me. I might leave them up after the 4th of July weekend. Okay, it looks like Montana did not have proper infrastructure for that family. No, that's untrue, Gabi. You're falling for the fake news stuff. That's a very complicated story. I've detailed and explained everything that happened there. No, it's not a question of that. It's a question of those people insisted they wanted to go to Montana, and the government foolishly allowed them to go there, even though there was no refugee case representative there. And the reason there was no case rep there is because most of the agencies providing assistance had no money because Trump suspended the program. See, you guys have to listen to the things I say and not just show up occasionally. I have said repeatedly what happened is Trump suspended the program in January for 90 days globally and all the funding tied to it. No one can be resettled. When the South African refugees began coming over here, they had to find money from the State Department. They took money from this budget and that budget. They robbed Peter to pay Paul. What they could do within the scope of the legal, within the law existing for the current budget, they took that money and that's how they got those people over here. That's how they got them settled. They didn't have enough money to get people settled in states. So they asked them where they wanted to go. They asked the 48 states and lower 48. They said, hey, who can help us out? Can you pick up half the cost to pay for these refugee case officers until the funding comes back? Many states said they could. Montana wasn't one of them, to my knowledge. Or maybe it did. I don't know. But the bottom line is those people chose to go to Montana. They were offered accommodation. They were offered a vehicle they could use for long-term stay 6 hours away in Wyoming, and they didn't want to go there because they were misled by people because they didn't listen to me. They didn't read the law. They didn't use Google. They were told by an angry, disgruntled, leftist, hate-wanking refugee resettlement officer who didn't want to help them, just like the lady who did the video about them who didn't want to help them, that if they move, they lose their benefits. That's a lie. What benefits are they talking about getting? We're talking about Social Security Supplemental, Medicaid, and SNAP, food stamps. Those are federal programs. It doesn't matter whether you live in Guam, Puerto Rico, Washington, D.C., Maine, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Idaho, Montana, or Wyoming. It doesn't matter where you move. You get those benefits. They're not tied to your location. And they hadn't started getting them anyway, so they were misled by someone that had a grudge. So let's not go blaming Montana because we don't know all the facts. But I do know I've spoken to the family. And when that video was released, they already had a cell phone. This video said they had no phone, no way to contact them. Well, that's a lie. How did the person get in contact with them in the first place and offer help? On Facebook, okay? All right. So they had a phone. They have food. They're okay. Last I spoke to them. So you guys got to think things through. You can't just believe everything you hear. Okay. Evans wanted to know, what do you think of North Carolina as a state? You don't have to call me Mr. Chris, Evan. You can call me Colonel, call me Chris. What do I think of North Carolina? I think it's incredibly hot and humid. Far too many people. Very productive, industrious state with high-tech sector and a medical sector. And a lot of agriculture. Beautiful in the mountains to the west, the Appalachians. But too humid, too hot for me. Too many people, too far south. Not my cup of tea. But a lot of people love it. Some of the refugees are there right now. So that's what I think of North Carolina. My sister used to live there. I came back from Germany in 1994. I landed in Maryland. I picked up my car. Or was it a rental car? I can't remember. It might have been a rental car. And I went down the coast. I topped off the vehicle, and it was like 90 degrees in Maryland. It was hot, but it wasn't oppressive. Got in the car, drove all the way down North Carolina, got out in Wilmington, North Carolina in the evening. I walked out of the car and went, humidity was like 96%. It was just dripping, standing there, disgusting, vile sweat coming out of the body and hard to breathe. The air was so thick and heavy with humidity, and the temperature was almost 100 degrees in Wilmington on the coast. No, thank you. That's Durban. You can have it. No, thank you. I wouldn't live in Durban. I wouldn't live in North Carolina. But people love North Carolina. It's a beautiful place. A lovely place to visit in the wintertime. Visit. Yep. No, Vernon, American Samoa will not be a refugee location. People relocate from American Samoa to California to get out of Samoa. So no, we're not doing that. Wow, I'm getting back to the same chat here. Okay, taking my Acer Nitro gaming laptop along the US. Okay, cool beans. Thank you, Francois Andlau, for the 50 Rand super chat. One of the members of your chat mentioned that a source said Cape Town, Durban are opening. What chat, Diane? Chat here? In this chat? No, I have no information on that. There's been no indication of Cape Town and Durban opening. Someone spread a frost rumor a week ago, said that there were interviews being done in Pinetown. We have no indication that's the case. No indication that's the case. Andre says, thank you for your patience. Okay, I'm back at the same place I was at before. What's with this chat? Okay. Brett has been a member for 43 months. Remember the days of the video store? I do. Hey, Brett, how's it going? Madeline says, thanks for your time answering questions. You're welcome. If one put in a statement of interest and chose 3-6 months, would a second statement of interest? No. Why are you sending a second statement of interest into slowing down the system, Pearl? Why are you doing that? You know what that tells me? You know what that tells me? You weren't serious. If I'm receiving them and you're flooding my inbox with all these statements of interest, and I get a first one, I get a second from you saying, well, 6 months now, you want 3 months, tells me you're not serious. That's how I'd look at it. I would, if you put a statement of interest in, you've put a statement of interest in. The fact that you said 3 to 6 months doesn't leave me in 3 to 6 months. It means you can leave in 3 days. It means you can leave in a year. They're just trying to get a feel for where people are out so they can try to sort this out. Is refugee program still active? Well, yes, it is, 7, and people are coming all the time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another refugee session. Not convincing you to go and not begging to stay. Are we? Yeah, exactly, enemy. Okay, so YouTube do not have to pay you out of real amount of people watching your channel. Well, CA, okay, I don't understand what you mean by that. It doesn't matter how many people watch my channel. I could have 100 people watch my channel. I could be rich beyond belief if they all gave massive super chats. I could have 1 million people watch my channel and no super chats and be even richer because the people watching the ads. So YouTube pays based on the money you generate from ad revenue. YouTube takes 45% of every dollar that you generate in ad revenue. And people say that's unfair. I think it's fair. They create the online auction system that brings the ads to your channel. They manage all of it. They pay you. We just have to trust that they're being honest. And given the amount of ad revenue I've gotten in the past few months, I think they are being honest. So that's one source of income. Another source of income is super chats. The super chats, they take 30%. I think that's unfair. It should be 10%. They don't do anything to generate super chats. That all comes from the talent of the content creator, and it shouldn't be YouTube. They create the system, but 10% is a fair price. 30% is usury, and it's unfair. They also take 30% of memberships, which I think is unfair. But why should they get 30% of people being members of your channel? I'm okay with the ads, but not the other stuff. So that's how the revenue is generated on YouTube. Not any other way, okay? Question regarding employment, but there's no question. We live in PE. Husband is looking at Pennsylvania or North Carolina. Okay, you guys can look at whatever you want. You're going to go where they put you, okay? Compared to PE, Morristown, New Jersey is better. Most places better than PE. But if you like the ocean, Pennsylvania is not on the ocean, so you want North Carolina, but it's humid. So maybe North Carolina is a better fit. Okay, it's a good, the North Carolina is great for the tech field. Yeah, you got NC State, you've got Duke, you've got University of North Carolina, all these schools within close proximity, big tech corridor. People are trashing. Oh, people trash me all the time, Leslie, all the time. Blockbuster, I never really care for Blockbuster. It wouldn't be a strange thing if people are told to be quiet about their rivals. Exactly, Flying Dutchman, that's what they've been told. Heard a bad story about a normal South African immigrated or turned against. Yeah, you're probably talking, Alan, about the video the lady made. That someone claimed that she's a refugee and abused her in a store. I question that video. There's all kinds of problems with that statement. First off, how many Americans even know South Africans here as refugees? Very few. Second, the person that was insulting her was a Latino who could barely speak English, so that's pretty funny. What are the odds that person isn't even legal? Number three, the person said, well, you shouldn't have refugee status. How many Americans even know about the term refugee status? If someone in America, unless they work in the government or they're in politics or the media, says to you something about refugee status, you know it's BS because it's obviously a setup. I don't buy it. Mandatory tax on salary. Do they differ from state to state? Of course they differ from state to state, Yassine. You have federal income tax. You have state income tax. Some states have county income tax, and some have local municipality tax. You could pay as much as 4 income taxes on your income. Plus, you have Social Security and Medicare. 6 different taxes you could be paying, minimum. Yep. Now, on my earnings, I pay federal income tax, state income tax. So federal at 28%, state at 3%, and then I pay 18% Medicare and Medicaid because I'm self-employed. So that's almost half my income goes to taxes. So you refugees can come over here. Yeah. But there are thresholds. You get exemptions and standard deductions on the federal return, which lowers your taxable income by a considerable amount. I think a married couple gets like a $25,000 standard deduction now, something like that. And then you get exemptions for every person, which is a few thousand. If you reproduce and pop out children, they give you child credits and stuff like that. So most people making less than $50,000 pay nothing in federal income tax. Nothing. Not a penny. And most don't pay any state income tax. It's the rest of us that pay it. So lots of taxes, Yassine. They love taxes in this country. It's like the bumps we hear from the mines. No idea what that's about. I believe the pace of refugees arriving will increase after September due to the big, beautiful bill. Sandy, I do believe the pace of refugee arrival from South Africa will pick up in the new fiscal year because we have a budget and we will execute it from October 1st. Every year that I've been doing consulting since I left the Army for the past 5 years, 6 years, we weren't sure if we were even going to have a course in October because October is a fiscal year. But we wound up finding out that the money wound up being multi-year money, which is rare. So, yeah, we will have money to operate on October 1st, which we normally don't have. We have to get a continuing resolution, and they talk about government shutdowns. That isn't going to be the case this year. So, yes, I think you're right about that. Also, in that budget, I'm sure they put money aside specifically for the South African program. I haven't seen the budget where it says that, but I guarantee they probably did because they know it's there now. Tessa Kortson, what's going on? Even if you have family here, you have no choice in where you're going to Poland. You don't get to go where your family is. They can do that if they like, but there's no guarantee of that. The people who went to Montana wanted to go there, For whatever reason, they wanted to go there, and they were told there's no agent there. They had to get a remote agent, and they wanted it anyway. Mississippi's Hurricane Alley, so is Florida. Yes, I know. Where they come from, Brett. Thank you. Your certificates are laminated. Is that a problem? I have no idea if I'm here and if that's a problem. No idea. I couldn't answer that question. If it's a document you have, it's a document you have. How's the financial video coming along? It's not. It's not, DeVault. I've been too busy. Too busy. Hey, Patria. Welcome to see you back again. Not trust YouTube or Google. Well, okay. Which states don't have buffalo stampedes? Mega Joy. No states have buffalo stampedes. There are none left. There's hardly any left. American bison population, once estimated 50 million, is now, let's see, 30 to 60 million in the 19th century. There are about 500,000 now in America. There were 30 to 60 million at one time. From 30 million to 325, back to 500,000. The bison, from 30 million to 325 in 1884 to 500,000 today. Last year, the bison became America's first national mammal. Here is a photo from 1870s with bison skulls waiting to be ground for fertilizer. Look at that, how many they killed. That's tens of thousands. In 1500s, an estimated 36 million bison roamed North America, mostly in the Great Plains. Mass destruction of bison began in 1830. 1860, construction of the railroad accelerates human settlement and killing of bison. 1870, estimated 2 million are killed in the southern plains in 1 year. 1872 to 1874, an average of 5,000 bison were killed every day for 3 years. That's 5.4 million bison killed in 3 years. 1884, the population reached its lowest point, around 325 wild bison left in the United States, including 24 in Yellowstone. 1910, due to conservation, bison increased to 1,000. By 2017, there are 500,000 in the U.S., including 5,000 in Yellowstone. That's the range. They were all the way over in Pennsylvania at one time. Look at that. The historic range was all the way to Pennsylvania. Why are the bison in Yellowstone so special? Because it's the only place in the continental United States where wild, free-ranging bison have lived continuously since prehistoric times. It's also the largest bison population in the country and one of the only purebred herds left. The only other two locations of purebred bison are in Utah and South Dakota. Are all the bison descended from the 24 in 1884? No. In 1902, the Army brought 21 bison from 2 private herds to Yellowstone. They were bred with those already in Yellowstone. Yep. Up to 60% of Yellowstone's bison test positive for brucellosis. They got it from cattle. It persists in Yellowstone's ecosystem in bison and elk. So there you go. That's the bison story. I believe you now have to sign an NDA. I wonder if it will apply. I believe there's an NDA too, but I can't answer that question. What is the possibility that ITC check will be done as part? What is an ITC check, Sonic Boom? I don't know what an ITC check is. What is that? I doubt it because I never heard of it. Napoleon claims that the documents must not be laminated. I'm not sure where you get that information from. They don't want them laminated. Doesn't mean they can't be laminated. So. For those that are new here, okay, God bless it, the same thing. Please stop typing the same comments and pasting them repeatedly because it makes me think that we've got lost in the chat. Representative Taylor Burton Edwards from Nashville replied to my email on Wednesday and informed me where they stand on refugees from across countries. Okay, Alan? Yep. Any prediction how many will be relocated by December? No, Retha, I'm not going to make any prediction until I see what's going on in the new fiscal year. We know that up to 1,000 are supposed to be coming here by the end of 30 September. Be able to apply for adult unabridged certificate in the USA, as it seems like we're being blocked to apply. Well, Philip, how does that change if you're in America? You're not applying to America. I mean, you're applying to South Africa. We don't issue birth certificates for people born in South Africa or in Rhodesia or in the Congo. You have to get that from the jurisdictions where you were born. I don't see how it changes. From your business interview on what was said in Washington Post article about 1,000 until the end of September, once the U.S. budget comes into place, will there be more people going per month? Probably, Lindy, but we don't know. The government's not releasing any information. No, you do not need passports before you apply for refugee status, but you should better go get them. We saw the reports about 1,000 by the end of September. What's your estimate for there may have been a cap? I can't make a prediction there, Gabi. I don't know. I have to see how it goes. No, you don't need Freya to apply. It says right there in the statement of interest, do you have a passport? No. Okay. Heard that Hawaii is rife with anti-white racism. Many soldiers live off base. Yeah, no, it is true, Brett. Ever since the leftists have felt their oats being sown since the 1990s and Hawaii became a consistently leftist state, the racism is unbelievable. Sharita, well, I mean, you decide what you're going to do. I don't know about the lamination. Most times you can't have laminated documents for anything, so I don't know why you would laminate them. According to Washington Post, your story is a pledge to resettle. I've covered that, JC. There's a video on it. I talked about that. Okay. I did this on June 29th. It's got 24,000 views. That's about the Washington Post article. Full analysis of what that meant. Anybody able to talk to your wealth or financial advisor you can trust and get money outside of a person can take $1 million without tax clearance. Yep. Rakes, Colonel, I cannot like any of your shorts as YouTube did not give me the option. Oh, it's on other ones. So, sorry to hear that, Rakes. Well, let me look and see if I can put a like on my shorts. Give me a second here and see. I had to reboot my phone because it died on me. It went to 0 on the battery earlier. When we were on the last stream, it was playing the music at the beginning and it just went dead. Okay, let me go to my channel, pick one of my videos. Let's go to Shorts, View Channel. Oh, there's a short right there. Elon Musk's party. Let me see. Okay, I can put a like. Well, that's a bad one. You can't see it very well. Let me try one. It's got better darkness on the screen. This one might work better. Okay. Hello, folks. Welcome back. America just celebrated its 249th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence from the British Empire on the 4th of July, 1776. Next year, 250. I was able to do it. I'm not sure what's going on, why you can't do it. It's unusual. I'll be satisfied with waiting. Will be the best day of my life. Okay, cool beans. Good evening, Colonel. Does a few months of refugee allowance fall away as soon as you find a small job? No, but yeah, it is affected by whether you're getting money. It gets reduced by the amount of money. That's correct. It does get reduced, but it's only, okay, God bless it. Freaking chat jumped again. Man, I swear to God. It's a pain in the ass here. This pension list in the active program. There's no list, Johan. There's no list. You go where they send you, okay? There's no list. Can refugees cast a vote in their own country? Of course you can. But South Africa requires you to go to their embassy. So if you live in California, you're screwed. You're going to have to go to Washington, D.C. to vote. Love the flags. It makes you look like a senator. Well, thank you for that. How much does refugee Medicaid cover with extremely hospital? I have no idea what it covers, Wild Combo. I don't know what my medical care covers. I'm a retired veteran. I have to pay for my medical care. I know that it covers, I have to pay $3,000 out of pocket every year. Plus I have to pay for the insurance. Plus I have to pay for copays. I have to pay for drugs if I don't get them at the military pharmacy. So I don't know. You're going to have to do research. You're going to have to go to see what it covers. Okay. Freezing indeed. Okay. Depending on where you're told to go, you can go to Google all that. Yep. Okay. You're like a Father Christmas, some people, the way you help give people. Thank you, Theo Holmes. That's very kind of you. When is the fiscal new year for U.S.? The U.S. fiscal year is October 1st to September 30th. Media centers, DA in charge of home affairs. That's why passports are quick. Yes and no. It's not quick everywhere. They still have dead weight in many of the offices. I think food stamps are limiting. It can only be certain foods. You would think that, but last night I looked at buying Haribo berry-flavored gummy bears from a discount store, buying them online because they never have them in the store. And you can buy them. They ship in the store. You don't pay for the shipping. It's just in a regular delivery, and I can get them there. So I'm going to buy some because I'm tired of running out of them. But I looked and it said SNAP eligible, which means you can buy them with food stamps. It's candy. Why can you buy candy with food stamps? That's nonsense. That's nonsense. I couldn't do that as a kid. When I went to stores as a kid with food stamps and those big, horrible purple and orange and yellow, bright red things that stood out, and they go, look, here's a poor kid. Look at this poor kid. Now they got freaking, cards look like credit cards. Nobody knows that you're a deadbeat. Yeah, well, here's a poor kid. Well, I couldn't buy anything except staples. You couldn't buy soft drinks. You couldn't buy candy. You couldn't buy cookies. All you can buy is meat, potatoes, things like that. So they get away with all kinds of things. So the question was about, and it disappeared. I'm trying to get back to it, but I remember what it was. The question was about the aid. Well, Refugee Cash Assistance, RCA, I covered it in a video. Refugee Cash Assistance is available for up to 3 years under the law. However, they never budget that much money. So historically, traditionally, for the past several years, it's been up to 8 months that people get it. So you're typically getting for 8 months, Refugee Cash Assistance. And if you do get a job, your Refugee Cash Assistance is reduced by a commensurate amount. Not the full amount, because people get paid much more than Refugee Cash Assistance, so it gets reduced by a certain amount. Why are you worried about that? Why? I mean, that's an interesting question, but why ask that question? Why would you care? If you get yourself a $60,000 a year job and the $300 a month or $236 a month you're getting in Refugee Cash Assistance goes away, why would you care? I'm curious. Especially since y'all keep telling me we're hardworking people, the Boers, the Afrikaners. It's not just you guys, by the way. It's Indians and colors too. We'll make a great contribution to America. What can I get for free? You're still waiting to be in your WhatsApp group. Well, you're going to be waiting a long time because let's take a look and see if anybody's departed. You find refugee groups. Here's one. 58 waiting to join this group, and 1 got in. 2 got in. That's it. 2 got in. 1,025 members again in that group. Yep. And that's the, it has 25 now waiting to join. Or 56, excuse me. That's one group. And here's my other group. 63 waiting to join. 1 got in. That's it. 1 got in. So I just got 3 people in. So you're 3 closer, unless you happen to be one of those people that just got in. Okay. Yep. Yeah, you need a passport. I mean, let me ask you all this question. How do you think South African authorities are going to let you out of the country without a passport? You ever tried to leave South Africa without a passport? They control the borders, not us. You have to have a passport to get out. Minor criminal record when you were young and silly with that. Not necessarily, Sammy Sam. Not necessarily. I've also had people approach me in South Africa, say they were convicted of murder. They didn't commit murder, but they were convicted of murder unjustly. And they have documentation to prove how they were not treated justly by the court system. I told them to put in a statement of interest in. Let your case be adjudicated. Lots of youthful indiscretions happen. It doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to come over as a refugee. But you need to be honest. Honest and forthright in your interview and disclosure. Don't hide stuff. Ask the question. All right? When will you start working? When you start working, you can pay for medical costs. I don't throw figures out there unless you have facts. I don't know. Okay. Hoping the program picks up come September. No, September's not a new year, Edward. October's the new year. It's end of September for the 1,000. People hear what they want to hear. It's end of September. I've been very clear about that. The 1,000 that the Washington Post reported is end of September. And we don't even know that's going to be the case. That's what they hope to achieve. That's a goal. 1 October is a new fiscal year. Okay. Mark Rothak says, so it's true the grass isn't always green on the other side, better than the devil you know and all that. Really? Then stay there, Mark. If you think South Africa is better than America, stay. Enjoy yourself. You're welcome to stay in South Africa. You think it's better than America? Okay, that's fine. Oh, my goodness. People would do themselves a huge favor by just listening. Exactly. Listen to what I say. How many lines does mention? I have no idea, Anton. BE is not the topic here. No, I don't like Facebook. It's an evil platform. Make a plan and go in December. You will experience. No, I'm not. Why do I want to experience that, Vernon? No, thanks. So you can go to what? All right. Looks like Mark is a troll, and I'm 20 minutes behind the chat. Darlene Alabasini Bester. Yeah, Savannah, Georgia. Humidity was high this morning, no doubt. My cousin knows a guy that said it's not a source, it's gossip. Exactly. Someone said they're doing interviews in Glenwood, not Pinetown. I seriously doubt it. Yeah, well, Pinewood was the rumor last week. Be taking my gaming. Okay. All right, JP. Great. Brett Sessoms, Southern humidity is no joke. I love the South. Humidity is uniquely ours. What was a major video store in your town? Ours was Blockbuster. Thank you for the $10 super chat, Brett. Hi, Colonel. Do you think that everyone who submitted a statement of interest will actually receive a reply? Yes, I do. It's not a lottery basis. Why would you think that, Night Rumor? What basis do you have for spreading that rumor? Why do you think that? Do you have a basis for it? I mean, I'm asking. There's no basis for that. And then people run around, start spreading it around. I see so much hate on TikTok from Southern U.S. citizens about refugee program, but they can go fly a kite. I don't know what U.S. citizens are saying hateful things on TikTok. South Africans are saying it, Andrea. I pay no attention to it. It's a small number of flying monkeys that you can ignore. Would you be able to bring an elderly parent, but still be able to tutor, substitute, teach? Okay, what does one have to do with the other, aviation fanatic? What does having an elderly parent have to do with being able to teach? I don't understand your question at all. You cannot bring an elderly parent here. They're an adult. They must apply on their own. They should apply with you. You can include in your family, you listed the elderly parent there. Now, if you have legal custody of them because they have dementia or Alzheimer's or physically incapable of doing things, and you have legal guardianship of them, then they're in your family, regardless of their age. But someone over the age of 18 is an adult. They have to apply on their own. But you can list them on your family and say, hey, my elderly parents want to come too. They live in my home with me. But no guarantees. But they'll probably try to accommodate you. Lana says you got lots of ads that pop up in your podcast. Not on shorts, only before it starts. I'm not really sure what you're saying there towards the end. But the ads, that's good. That's good. That means they're not entirely shadow banning me. Denise Grove says, thank you for the information. You're very welcome. If you sent a statement of interest, you will receive a reply. Well, I hope so, Renee. Brunoni Brackpan, guys, is a place called Mechanicsburg. No, there isn't. No such place. Alternative medicine practitioner. How do folks feel about alternative medicine states? Well, most doctors think that chiropractors are quacks. Most people think that acupuncture doesn't work, but we have acupuncture clinics all over the country. We have alternative medicine all over the country. We probably invented the nonsense. So I'm not trying to show shade on what you're talking about. I'm talking about the alternative field. Yeah, it's here. It's everywhere. So, yeah, you'll be able to practice as long as it's legal. Oh, yeah, if you want to super chat, the PayPal is one way to do it without paying 30%. The fees are only like 2 or 3% there. Yep. Thank you for that, Chris Wyatt. Did you serve in the military with Southerners? Of course I did, Brett. Lots of Southerners. Yanika Renka from Sedgeville, welcome to you. Retha says, any idea what to do if you're a single working 12-hour day job and you have a dog? So daycare for pets. Not that I'm aware of. Daycare for pets. Never heard of such a thing, Retha. Most people with pets are left at home. No idea. Do you have daycare for pets in South Africa? Do you have daycare for pets? I've never heard of daycare for pets in South Africa. You know if they are now solely using the statements of interest going through the media emails. Helsing plays, it appears that they did go back to the people who were in the first 100, and some of them have been processed now, and some have arrived in the States. Those were from emails. I've had 1 or 2 people anecdotally send me an email claiming that they sent an email in before the 12th of May, and they got a response now. So it would appear that that is the case, but I have no verification of that. So it seems reasonable they are doing that, though. Okay, so Arnold, you can do, let's just go where they put you. I'm going to feel if it works. You can move yourself. We've already talked. Charles Kleinhaus already moved from Buffalo to another location. He did that on his own without any help. As soon as he got here, he moved. He didn't like where they put him. We've also talked to a couple last week. Did an interview with them a week ago, and they're moving from where they're placed to another place, not because they don't like it, but because they got an incredible job opportunity. Ironically, they're not farmers, and they're going into farming. That's pretty funny, but yeah. Some worries are around finances. Okay, some info on that. I've talked about it endlessly. Leona Watley, you need to go watch the videos. I'm not going to go through all the finance stuff right now. Also, I'm trying to put together another finance video for moving your money. That's different than the finances that you get here. IndabaAfrica.substack.com is your friend. Upper left-hand corner is the article. List all the videos on refugees. Finances is located there. Patches says, no, you can't. Well, he's trolling. Mac Rothach is trolling Patches. Ingrid has to go. Take care, Ingrid. Take care. Freya says to be safe. If you sent me email in February, fill in the form as well. Exactly. That's what I've advised everybody since the 12th of May. Neomentis just wanted to talk. Do you know by chance if passage for a service animal will be covered or refugees also need to cover? Refugees have to cover pets, service animal. I don't know the story there. I don't know the story. Don't know. It's a fair question. We've never had to address it yet. The problem with service animals is people get carried away. This is my emotional support animal. No, you're not blind. You're not hearing impaired. You're not physically disabled. Yeah, you don't have PTSD. So anyway, I don't know the answer, Neomentis. It's a fair question. I don't know how it works. When we worked U.S., our neighbor gave us a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. Landlord gave us French and TV. Americans love South Africans. Renault in Minnesota, yes. Okay. Raven, you're back. Didn't know you left. Our black neighbor said to us, if we got murdered, it was our time. That's how they think and how they feel about murders. Yikes. When being placed, we applied as a family of 4, but husband's brother was also called. Will we be placed together, same city? No idea, Van Heerden. No idea. It depends, as I said over and over and over again, it depends on absorptive capacity. Unlike the Biden regime, we don't just dump people in neighborhoods, or like Texas, which was pissed off and started busing people in New York City, sent 120,000 illegals to New York. Well done, Texas. But that's not exactly the way it's supposed to be done. They put you where there's absorptive capacity. And you might be with a family. Your brother's not your family. He's a relation. My fear is driving in snow. I think it's better for America to send me somewhere it doesn't snow. Well, it snows in South Africa, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. You ever been to Drakensberg? You ever been in? Yeah, well, you'll go where they send you. And if you don't like it, you can move. Yeah, Lana, I don't know what Patch is saying, but I have no control over it. People trashing others are just jealous. They are. People trashing me all the time. They're very jealous. They've got penis envy. Most people in South Africa don't know enough about tax and don't do their own tax, even South African tax, so they really get shaken when Americans talk so much. Well, Anna Marie, people ask me about the taxes. I don't talk about taxes for the most part. People ask me about the taxes. They ask me about the income from YouTube, and the income from YouTube is sliced in half. YouTube gets almost half of it to begin with. Then the taxes take the other half, and I just get a fraction of what comes in. So, Freya, I was very clear. I answered him about a service animal. I said, I don't know. Fitnut, have you been contacted or held an interview with someone who got rejected? Nope. Never heard a single person come to me and say they got rejected. Never heard a person. Considered a tamping. Okay, you're in a group. Oh, you're in a group, Matthew Fundamera. Oh, is this a group of experts, the government employees that deal with that? They may very well be correct, but being in a group, I'm sorry. Yeah, I suspect that having a land-made document is a no-go. But someone in a group tell me, you know, my sister's cousin's brother's boyfriend's trans sister-in-law, nephew's niece, son's dog, Spot, told her. Come on, man. Screw these groups. These Facebook groups, these WhatsApp groups where people just pontificate and say stuff. Look, it may very well be the truth. But no government official has told us that's the case. So don't run out and laminate your documents. But if they're laminated, there's nothing you can do about it except apply for new ones. No, the people who are slandering me are not people who are rejected. Why would they reject me? What I told them was true. So if they got rejected, it's because of their own issues. No, the people slandering me are people with penis envy or people who don't listen. They hear what they want to hear. The lady who attacked me claimed that she said everything I said about the refugee program is a lie because she has a vested interest in the asylum program for whatever reason. And so she misrepresented what I said about asylum and lied about me to 7,000 people and spread it all over. The bad news for her is that some of the people watching my program are in that group and sent me screenshots. So I did a video and said that people who are, lying about me should stop it because they're wrong for this reason, that reason, other reason. I didn't mention her by name. Didn't even tell people where to find the group. So then she took my video in response, put it on the screen and made a stupid video and attacked me again. And she made herself look even more foolish. I'm being attacked by a host of people because the problem is that when you're right, you're moral and just, and you stick to the truth, and you give your honest view and honest analysis, and you tend to be right most of the time, that runs contrary to the objectives. I have no objective here. I don't want you here. I don't not want you here. I am agnostic. But I'm also well informed about the plight of South Africans, black, white, brown, colored, Indian. I'm well aware of what's going on in South Africa. It's not my place to tell you to come here or not come here. And that pisses some people off because vested Afrikaner interests don't want you here. They want you staying there, suffering, buying their crappy goods, or being a reservoir of support for them to give them money. And so they trash what I say obliquely. I've heard several content creators do the same thing in South Africa, attacking me. Well, get over yourselves. I didn't create the refugee program. I didn't create the conditions that led to the refugee program. The ANC did that. And I didn't encourage anybody to come here. I also didn't lie to them like you do. But it's South Africa. If your name is Van der Merwe, Westhuizen, or, or Blingnot or something like that, we'll believe anything you say. Anything you say. That guy just doesn't know what he's talking about because he's American. Really. I worked in the U.S. government 36 years in uniform. I worked in multiple embassies all across Africa. I've dealt with refugees. I've dealt with asylum seekers. I've been involved with asylum cases in America. I've read the law. I served as a judge. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, fine. Believe some little shithead 25-year-old Afrikaner doesn't know their ass from a hole in the ground because their name happens to be Milan. Believe him because he's an expert. He's an expert. You're welcome to believe him. And you know what? A 25-year-old shithead named Milan might be right. But I know you're very, very good. Possibly maybe figured out how they're selecting people. No, I don't have enough data to do that, Desh. I don't have enough data to even pontificate about how they're doing it. I don't think they're selecting people. I think this is where you guys got to stop. Full stop right there. I think, Desh, that's the problem. There's no selection. Let me ask you this question. How many of you received 150,000 emails this week? Anybody? Anybody got 150,000 emails this week? Okay, now let's take an email and turn that into 150,000 statements of interest. Now, you have a dozen people. There's no selection. They're going through them. It takes time. The process itself takes time. You must be vetted. You must do medical checks. Again, your friend is Baby Wyatt. Your friend is Baby Wyatt. I don't understand here what some people are coming with. So let's just listen to what Baby Wyatt has to say. I loved how she did this. It's fantastic. Where the heck's it at? Where are you hiding at there, buddy? Where are you hiding at? Come on. There he is. There he is. So after 5 months of this, February, March, April, May, June, now in July, 5 months I've been answering these questions, and my answer has been consistent. They've changed, the facts have changed, but they've been consistent with my analysis and consistently correct. People keep trying to take snippets and lie about me and spread rumors and mislead people based on their objectives. I have no objective. I'm not making money because you're coming here. I'm not making money because you're not coming here. I don't care. I don't. But they keep trying. And I've answered these questions tens of thousands of times. And in the tens of thousands of times, nobody can genuinely find a point where I've misled anybody, because I've never misled anybody. Tens of thousands of times. Hot in Toronto. Oh, can it become very hot there, Fooder? Yeah, it can become very hot. Is there some assistance or information where you place to integrate with community? Yes, absolutely, Leon. Once you get to community, your refugee case officer will help you with that. That's why we pay $2.9 billion a year to refugee assistance groups to get you placed in the country. All that's available. Yep, to varying degrees. Native Americans exterminated by... Yes, they did. Well, they didn't exterminate. They killed them, but they made better use of them than we did. We just killed them indiscriminately, Brett. Colonel, people keep saying our education will mean nothing. USA, which organization can one use to get your degree equivalency? It's all handled through the refugee case officer. That's how it's done. I don't know the answer to that. That's all done. They help you translate your CV into a resume and help you with your educational standards. I don't know who keeps telling you education means nothing. Your educational standards mean nothing. We don't have standard 6 and standard 8 and matriculation. We don't do that. Matriculation is a verb. Matriculation means to advance to the next level, go to university. That's what matriculation means to us. The way the English use it's been abused. So maybe that's what someone means to you, but said to you. But it means nothing from a standpoint if you're telling me, well, this is this, standard 6. That doesn't mean anything. That'll all be translated. Your degree. I mean, I had someone send me a resume, and I took the time to do my best to clean up for that person. And they listed all these courses. No one submits a resume that lists their courses. I don't know what you do in South Africa. We don't say we had equality course. We had, counseling course. You don't do that. You put down your degree, you put down your grade point average, you put down your area of study. If you did a master's program, you put your thesis, or a PhD, you put your dissertation topic, what it was. But you don't list all the courses. I mean, I took hundreds of courses at university. You don't list that. So that'll all be translated. So when they say it doesn't mean anything, the way it's presented doesn't mean anything. You're educated, you're literate, you're functional. You can read and write, you can calculate. Those are skills. And you have a piece of paper that says you have that. So that'll all be translated when you get here, okay? Living in Pretoria, would Tennessee be a good state to live in? We are not accustomed to snow. We don't get a lot of snow in Tennessee, unless you get to the mountains in the eastern part in the Appalachians. But Tennessee's a lovely place, beautiful state. But it's not like Pretoria. It's green. Pretoria is not green. Lucille, yes, I would like a red or Trump state. Also hot and humid like Durban. Florida, Texas. Julia says, thanks, Chris. Wow, you just keep going. Thank you. You're very welcome, Julia. And I just keep getting attacked. Tolkien Worley hopes to get a call. A lot of people do. Official South African documents may not be laminated, voids validity due to UV verification becoming difficult to confirm. Well, Benj, that's South Africa. That's not the United States. But yes, typically you don't laminate documents here in America. What about a credit check? Oh, that's what ITC is. Okay, what was the question that was so long ago with the credit check? I don't remember what the question was. We do credit checks, yes, as part of background investigations. But for refugees, I'm not sure that's the case. Pierre Enslin, thank you for your assistance. You're very welcome. Thank you for your 50 Rand super chat. In courts, they do not want laminated documents. Credit check, not valid in USA. Yeah, it doesn't do anything here. Did somebody ask if they should do it? No, you don't do it. We'll do that. You do nothing for your background check other than submit your fingerprints when asked to be fingerprinted and answer the questions. All the work is done by the U.S. and anyone we hire to do it. You do nothing. And it's not done by SAPs, okay? 783 likes, okay? Thank you, guys. I never heard of ITC before. It's credit check. They are verification markers on original documents in South Africa. That's why Southern documents are not allowed to be laminated, okay? Darlene says, good evening. Just wanted to know if it would be a problem if our marriage certificate has been punched. Punched? What do you mean punched? Punctured? A hole in it? I don't think so, unless it blocks some official information. Someone mentioned in one of the groups that Durban or case interviews will start in July. We don't know. I don't know, Helen. That may very well be true. But I have no evidence of that. I have not reached out to the embassy, but now that this question is coming repeatedly, I'll see if I can't find out from the U.S. government if that's true. I did confirm about Johannesburg. I broke that story. Remember that? No credit for that. Didn't gain 100,000 subscribers for that. I broke that story. Told everybody it was going to happen in Johannesburg. Happened, sure enough. Yep. So, but I'll see what I can find out. But I have no indication that's the case. Colonel, did you ever get the MK Party America song? Yeah, I did. We played it over and over again. Please do not send me gifts from South Africa. It will cost you a fortune beyond comprehension. If you have a gift for me, as long as it's not something that weighs a ton, you can hold it to a trip to South Africa and come to a meet and greet and present it to me there, if you don't mind. It costs me $325 to send something that weighed less than a kilo to South Africa in 2021 or 2020. It's ridiculous. And then the immigration or the customs people tried to hold it ransom for a bribe that was worth more than the damn box itself. Do not duplicate must be a YouTube move. Sometimes they'll send a comment and you read it more than 5 minutes. U.S. does its own criminal. Yep. Okay. We start with a blank credit record. So why can't? That's why. Okay. Do you know of new news regarding refugees landing from other countries? Nikki, I've reported repeatedly that Afghans have been coming here throughout June. Don't know about other countries. Wife got a birth certificate. Okay. Thank you so much for contributing to tax that makes it possible for refugees to come over, says Russell. Can't wait to contribute. Marie Botha says, what type of employment will be available if you only have a senior certificate? Mari, I don't know what a senior certificate is. You talking about a high school diploma? All employment's open to anybody, as long as the employer is willing to hire you. If you have the qualifications, experience, and the educational background, there you go. But if your question is, if you're only a high school graduate, are there jobs available? Yeah, lots of jobs, but usually entry-level jobs if you don't have any experience. So, but I don't know what a senior certificate is. I assume that's a high school diploma. Lots of people are in debt review due to lost employment, but I also think that some folks are disingenuous with attempt a dirty move. Lisa says, my daughter is studying criminology, halfway, jobs available in that line. Her dream is to work for FBI. Well, she'll have to be a citizen to work at the FBI, to my knowledge. I could be mistaken in that, but I believe you have to be a citizen. You can't be, you might maybe a secretary or toilet cleaner, but I don't think you can actually be an FBI employee direct unless you're a citizen. But she can become a citizen after a number of years. She can criminology. Yeah, I studied criminology briefly with Central Texas University when I was in the Army the first time around. Criminology is huge. We have hundreds of thousands of law enforcement officers. We have lots of people working in that field. Lots of investigative services. Lots of work there. Yep. Alan says, if the vetting is done locally, I can presume it's always in South Africa. Everything goes. There's no... Well, I don't know. Maybe they looked into your credit. I don't know why. Unless they had some reason to check it. But it doesn't prevent you from coming here. How long does it take for background checks once you sent them your forms? Well, Heidi Roberts say no one knows the answer. It depends how dirty your background is, how old you are, and how many people are in the queue. Can't answer that question. Nobody has an answer to that. That's an impossible question to answer. I mean, these are questions you couldn't possibly answer till this has been going on for a few years, and there's an average time you can aggregate the data and say it's been this long, it's been that long. Every case is different, folks. No, your python is not an emotional support animal. Sorry. Renee says, I have to get one thing off my chest. I have to commend you, Colonel, for your patience. Well, thank you, Renee. You're very welcome. I think today I've been very chilled. I haven't said I've been asked this a million times. Plenty of South Africans don't have 100% English. Exactly. That happens, and that's part of the problem, too. South Africans, their comprehension of English is not up to speed sometimes. When Transkei was independent, my friend took a wrong turn. We ended up at the border. Southern Customs said they'd let us enter Transkei with just my ID, but Transkei refused. We couldn't enter. We do have daycare for pets, says Sumari. Really? I've never heard of that. Maybe we do here. We probably have doggy daycare, too. I don't know. I don't have pets. Gosh, Google. Okay, PENSYLVAN, doggy daycare. Okay. Here are the results for Pennsylvania doggy daycare. Dogtopia, Greenland Pet Resorts, Canine Spa Swimming. They don't, that's not care though. I know that place. Central Bark, dog daycare. Morgan's Pets. See, we got all of it, guys. Gosh, look how hard that was for me to find. But answering your question would have done you no good. That's I just a search locally here. I don't know where you're going to be. So, yeah, Brett, they have pet get care here. I just checked. Help someone with arthritis spine that was caused by plates in his spine. Tired. I'm not a physician. I don't know if they can't help you in South Africa medically. How could they help you in America if it's not something that can be treated there? But whatever medical care anyone has on the planet, we have it here. We have the best medical care in the world. It's just a little expensive. On a lighter note, spent 4th of July watching documentaries in Gettysburg. Interested to know if it's legal to fly the Confederate flag. Of course it's legal to fly the Confederate flag. Why would it be illegal? We have free speech in this country. Lusty Lover, thank you for your info and patience. Just want to hear if Florida might be a refugee option. Sure, have fun. Go down there. It is an option. Is Vermont a nice part of the U.S.? Vermont's nice, but it's a leftist state. New Hampshire's nicer. It's right next to it. You can go to Vermont. You can drive across the border. Managed to get a job, says Unique. Just waiting for a call. Okay, cool. Hopefully they'll hold the job for you. Sorry, just asking, but I also appreciate your help and love. You're welcome, Tired. Not a problem. Nick has an emotional support hamster. Yep. Looking forward to your finance video. Well, I've got a lot of work to do to get to that done. Will you possibly look into ways of transferring money? Yes, I'm Mr. Echo. That's already been discussed several times in this broadcast. Yes, I'm researching that now and putting the video together. The bugger off bunny is my emotional support. Yeah, this is my emotional support animal right here. Not to make light of emotional support animals. Somebody said that, not me. Okay. I know why some people are bum hurt. They assume you know better and are usually right. Right, Philip. That's right. So it hurts our feelings. Can we take our dogs? Yes, Matthew. Oh, my goodness. Where did you come from? I haven't seen you in donkey years. Martin says, thank you. You're very welcome. If you worry about things like taxes, your life isn't in jeopardy. Exactly, awkward, Leon. If you worry about things like taxes, your life is not in jeopardy. Samantha Myberg, welcome to you. You're laughing about something. Long for South Africa's golden years to return. The worst thing ever was a coup by the ANC, by the Gupta government. William says, bless his mother. Okay, release your member. Yep, okay. Sumari said, lots of groups and take everything with a pinch of salt. Use my common sense. Good for you, Sumari. That's the approach to take. That's the approach to take. Proof of lifetime vaccines. Cool, William. That's great to hear. Put your documents in a large zip bag. Why do you want to laminate it? Do you want to swim to America? Exactly. Yeah, but people laminate documents. There was a time, to be fair, Rudolph Skeppers, back in the 70s and 80s where people laminated documents to protect them. But the lamination yellows and fades and cracks and becomes a problem over time, and it just rips the document apart. But people didn't know better because they were, it was just a trend. So I understand. Fonny says, after being accepted refugee, how long will it take to get a citizenship in the U.S.? Well, you have to be in America for at least 5 years before you can apply for citizenship. 5 years. Guys, refugee is not a path to citizenship. Let me be clear about this, okay? Again, you all are looking at this as a free ride to America. And fine, that's your prerogative. But refugee program is not supposed to be a free ride to America. It's supposed to save you from certain imminent death. That's what's supposed to protect you. We allow people to become refugees, become citizens, but that's not the objective. But if you come here and you stay forever, then as permanent resident, you might as well become a citizen. But yeah, it's not about becoming a citizen, but you can after 5 years. Apply. People are very scared of you. Yep. And all the groups, they're careful now what to say because they know Wyatt supporters are watching. Good. Good. They should be scared of me. If they want to lie about me, they ought to be scared about me. I don't lie about them. If they've got parochial interest, then just go express your parochial interest. Asylum is better. You should apply for asylum. Yes. Don't disparage someone else. Don't disparage. I didn't disparage that. It's this whole thing with the pets. Let's go back to Pet Lift when this all started. Someone came in my chat and said, oh, that's not true. Because I explained what happened with my cats. I took Prince and Tara. There goes my flag. I took Prince and Tara, my cats, to Botswana. There they are. There's Prince. He looks like a Holstein cow, and there's Tara. I took those cats to Botswana. $5,800 to get them through South Africa to Botswana. When I left, I drove across the border to Pretoria East, not Linwood, a little further south, down where the Menlyn Mall is. Out past there, there's a cattery and a kennel out there. I drove out there, dropped them off. It cost me $2,800 to get them back to the States. And I was called a liar by some little shithead who came in my chat. Well, that's not true. It only costs $200 to send pets to America. Hang on. So, because that person came in my chat and said that's not true, called me a liar, I said, no, that's not possible. Well, this other thing is doing this. It's only $200. I said, it's impossible. It doesn't cost $200 to get to America with a pet. It doesn't work that way. And what it was is we found out when we interviewed Morgan from Pet Lift is that someone heard what they wanted to hear, information in, bullshit out. They heard that it cost $200. $200 for a titer test for a dog because they have to send it to Europe, I think to Germany. Morgan said that very clearly with Pet Lift. It was $200 for the titer. That's one test. It doesn't include the chipping, the microchipping. Doesn't include all the other tests, the rabies, all the other immunizations your pets have to. It doesn't cost the airfare. It's just $200. Then Morgan further said that they're raising money. They're getting grants. They're getting donations. Their objective is to reduce the cost to $200 for everybody. That's an objective. That is not the true cost of sending a pet to America. That is not going to be the cost of sending a pet to America for 300,000 Afrikaners, coloreds, and Indians who come here under refugee program and bring their pets. It isn't going to be the case. It's going to be for a handful of people. So what I said in that chat was, well, that can't possibly be true. That sounds like some kind of scam. I don't know who these people are, but I don't know who's telling you, but that's not true. That person went over there and started a whole crap storm, and they lied about me. And they lied, and that started a whole mess. And it's still going on. It's still going on because there's evil people who hear what they want to hear. And I wish those people nothing but misery because I don't lie about people. They have no business lying about me. I'm of age in South Africa, but considered minor in America. How is that? You're not of age in South Africa, you're 18, unless I missed something. You're 18 is of age in America. What are you talking about there, Gigi? Welcome, G. Gigi sounds like a gal. Are you born, Micey? Well, if you apply for a permanent residency 18 months after you arrive, it's still 5 years. The clock doesn't start with the permanent residency. It starts with your arrival in America. From the day you arrive in America, your passport is stamped. 5 years from that date, you can apply for citizenship if you meet the standards. There's no email address for the Statement of Interest Helsing Place. It's za.usembassy.gov. There's no email. You don't send an email. You fill out a Statement of Interest. It's a Google form. za.usembassy.gov. Helsing Place. There you go. Okay? Thank you for your patience, says Benj. Everyone who ever pops up, let it play through. Thank you very much. I do get the revenue from that. It's not a lot, but the thousands of people doing it adds up. So done with groups, they may only talk crap. Thank you, Chris Mattia. Yes, or even worse than Milan, Peter Creel. Can honestly say your advice on staying honest and true has helped me massively stay calm and collected. You're very welcome, Zenfei. Okay. Cobus Russo, this question may have been asked, but my 2 sons live with me and are currently the sole provider. Do that? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. They have to apply. But Cobus, my recommendation is if you've done a statement of interest, list your sons on there. And when they call you, say, these are my sons that live with me. But you know, unless you're, I don't want to do, I almost did a stereotype, but it's done in comedy here. So people, if I do it, people are going to take it out of context. But it's like Wallowitz says, it's how stereotypical Jewish American man, you know, living with your mother at the age of 30. That doesn't make you dependent. That you're not independent. You can't take them off in taxes, and you can't include them. But I recommend, Cobus, you put them on your statement of interest, saying these people as your family. But that ain't gonna fly. But it does alert them that you have people there. But they're gonna have to go fill out their own statement of interest. That's what they should do. Okay. You can ask to go to a state, but there's no guarantee you're gonna go there. Okay. Yeah, everybody's an expert. That's why they don't listen to anybody. Thank you, Lynn. Oh, except me. Matthew wants to bugger off Bunny. Well, some people said just need to keep quiet, stop embarrassing themselves. Yeah, they are embarrassing South Africa. Hey, John Moritz, how's it going? Guy says Peter Creel is better than Colonel Chris. Well, who the hell is Peter Creel? See, 20 emails a week, and I battle to get through them all. Yassine, I get thousands per day. By the way, if somebody is here, the lady that sent me the screenshot of, in your WhatsApp, I didn't save it. I thought I saved it. I'm trying to do a video about it, about racism against whites in South Africa, where it says you can't apply if you're white. You can only apply if you're African. That was from FMB, I think it was. If you could send that to me again, just send it to me when this is over if you're here, because I forget who sent it to me, and I've got thousands of WhatsApp, so I can't find it. I spent 40 minutes looking for it earlier. Do they do a background check before they will get in contact with you? Don't know the answer to that, Loretta, but I think it's impossible, because how can they do a background check if they haven't got your fingerprints? That's part of a background check. Will we be refugees for 6 years, only 1 year until we have a green card? You will be refugees forever unless you become an American citizen. Permanent resident, but you will be a permanent resident. So nobody knows you're a refugee. It's not like you walk around with a big R on your forehead. Which, if any, medical conditions apply disqualify an applicant? Nothing that I'm aware of. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not true. Active tuberculosis. Yeah. You can't have active tuberculosis. You can't have an infectious disease. Can't come if you've got that going on. Latent tuberculosis, test positive. You can still come over to my knowledge, but you can't have active tuberculosis come over here. So I'm sorry. You can't have anything actively infectious. Sorry. But if your question is if you have cancer or lupus, leukemia, of course you can come over. It isn't affected. There are many of us that respect and trust. Thank you, Rakes. Bergmeister says, hey, Colonel, out of curiosity, what is written on the flag next to your clock? I love the flags in the back. Oh, that's the Declaration of Independence is written in the white fields on that. So, yep. It's a Second Amendment flag. I just put up a U.S. flag there. I thought it'd be nice. Send in a statement of interest for the family unit 1, 28 years old. And you've got a question mark there. I don't understand what that means. Massive process to get through those statements, as you can imagine, possibly. Yeah, exactly. Twinkle says, Colonel is straight as an arrow. Guys, no subterfuge motivation other than I believe he's very real concern and affection. Thank you very much. Wild Mountains, could your refugee case officer help you apply for college? They should be able to. They should be able to, yeah. But it depends, different groups provide different services, but the idea is that's one of the things you're supposed to help you with. Hey, Madeline. Garrett Bota, I'm going to invite you to a braai. Well, thank you for that, Garrett. Just came in, Colonel, based on your experience with Tennessee. What's your opinion of the place? Lovely state. Nashville's dangerous, though. Can you request a change of case officer if they're unhelpful? I don't know the answer on that, Maze. I don't know. I've never been a refugee, and no one's told me that so far. I love Baby Wyatt. He is cute, Carolyn. Nothing makes sense in the Banana Republic, says South Africa. Charmaine Fenter with 140 Rand Super Chick. Thank you. Super Chat. Thank you. Henry Fun Veen, would it be helpful if you did a downloadable PDF booklet that answers all these questions? No, it wouldn't be, because the questions would still come because people are too lazy to download the book. It would be not helpful at all. It'd be much more helpful if people actually go watch my content, Henry Fun Veen. I have an entire playlist that says the refugee program, U.S. refugee program, and President Trump. Yep, that would be much more helpful. There are videos specifically related to background checks, videos specifically related to finance, refugee cash assistance, Medicaid, all that stuff is in there. One related to how the program works, and a whole bunch of them dispelling rumors and dealing with things. There's over 50 videos there. I've been doing it. I've done thousands of hours of content on this. No, doing a PDF book would not be helpful. The Amerikaners have put together a book that's helpful, a PDF book that helps a lot of people out. You can get that from the Amerikaners. Car guards don't need qualifications. My son filled in his form within hours of opening and still not heard anything. Well, Annalene, I hope he does here soon. I think people forget that this program is not ending in September. I don't understand. I think you're right about that, Gabi. I think there's an assumption here. Why do people... Here's my question. Why do people make assumptions when you don't know anything? Or you hear some turd tell you something? Or you read something in a WhatsApp or a Facebook? Why do people make these assumptions? I mean, unless you have experience as a consular officer, experience as an immigration judge, experience as an asylum judge, experience as someone that's worked in an embassy, experience that's worked with the U.S. government, unless you have any of that to contribute, why are you making assumptions and making leaps? I heard so many things in this chat tonight where people say, well, I assume this. Okay, fine. That's your conclusion. But what's it based on? Just because you have a feeling? You could be right, but the odds are pretty slim. I'm of age in South Africa, consider mine America. If I refugee with my grandparents, I will be in their hands. Will we be separated? Okay. Gigi, you're still not answering my question, Gigi. How old are you? Are you 16, Gigi? If you're 16 and your grandparents have guardianship of you, you're part of the family, then you'll come with them. You won't be separated. I have done the statement of interest, but no video. What? I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you. You've done the statement of interest, but no video. Someone said you should have done a video. Video how? To whom? Where are you going to put it? If you did not, the application is invalid. That's bullshit. That's nonsense. There's no video. You see the nonsense that gets spread around? There's no video. Who told you that? Did you get that from one of the groups? Oh, gosh. Equivalent standard for what I did for my degree, paid for it myself, done by Accept Institute is required. We're planning on immigrating. All right, Simmery. Yeah, no, I didn't make that. Someone else made that. We've been over 105,000 subscribers for some time there, Gus. But it limps along. It's limping along. We hit 100,000 subscribers on June 4th. And we've added a total of 5,000 in over a month. It's not bad, but not great. 19. Well, Gigi, you're an adult. You don't need your grandparents. Do you want to come with your grandparents? Do they thank you for sharing? You're an adult. Why do you think you're not an adult in America? The age of consent is 18. Not age of consent, age of majority. Age of consent is 16 in some states, 14 in some places. No, the age of majority is 18 in America. It's universal. You're an adult at 18. So I don't understand what you mean you're not an adult in America, Gigi. You're 19. You're an adult. You can make your own decisions. You have to fill out a statement of interest. If you live with your grandparents, so they don't have guardianship of you anymore because you're no longer a minor. You're now an adult. So if you live with your grandparents, you want to come with them, then do a statement of interest. And your grandparents want to come over, they need to do a statement of interest that includes you on there saying you're part of their family. So you might be separated, but the odds are you'll probably want it in the same place. Yanni says, thank you for explaining that. You're very welcome, Yanni. It's my pleasure. And I just got a message here. What's going on? Ugh. People trying to buy my house. I'm not interested in selling. Where am I supposed to live? A cardboard box? Punch is when you use a punch to make holes. That's what I said. It should be all right, unless you've damaged the information. Family in Virginia, they stay somewhere in the Appalachian. It's not Application, it's Appalachian Mountains. Quite hard to find them. You just need to take a wrong turn, they'll find you. That's good. Okay. Tired, 14 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. Share us that link. What link? People over 18 can apply on their own. Under 21, by the time you get the call, one can apply a parent or grandparent. Okay. No, Alan. She's 19. She needs to submit one on her own. There's no guarantee. There's no... What? YouTube just told me I have to confirm who I am in the middle of my stream. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? I'm broadcasting and they're telling me I have to verify who I am. They signed me out of my account while I'm live streaming? Are you serious? What the hell is this? I've never had that happen. YouTube is really screwed up right now. They signed me out of my studio while I was live broadcasting. That's never happened before. That's a new one. I got to send this to Ronaldo. That's insane. I've never seen such thing. Now it's telling me I'm not live. Am I live? Okay, I'm live. Gee, many crickets. What the hell, YouTube? That's a new one. That's a new one. Haven't seen that before. Wow. That's insane. I've never seen that before. Wow. I'm not going to chalk that up to Shadowban. I'm going to chalk that up. There's something wrong with their website. You're always spot on, hence why you're best person to watch. Thank you. Yeah, no, that advice is not good. Gigi needs to apply for a statement of interest on her own, and her grandparents need to put her on a statement of interest, okay? And when Gigi goes for an interview by herself, if she gets called before grandparents, she says, listen, my grandparents put me on theirs because I live with them. I still live with them. They want to come too. We don't want to be separated. That's how you handle that, okay? All right? I am very patient. Yeah, not only am I still sticking answering questions, but I'm answering them consistently the same way, am I not? Yeah, Marley says, I've been watching every stream and video on refugees and can answer and sure can cite every question and answer now. Yep. Franz Marais, great idea. Make a video like first 50 dates. Play it before you come on. You don't get stupid. Nah. Do you need to take original qualification documents? They lost at least 2, cannot seem to access them again. Well, Leona Watley, if you can't prove your qualifications, you're going to have a hard time getting credit for it in the States. But yeah, you probably need to take those documents or at least scan them, you know. I would live 10 minutes from the U.S. Embassy in Cape Town. It would be amazing if they interview here. Oh, you do live 10 minutes from there. Diana, I was just down there. I was just it's not an embassy, by the way. You're mistaken. And don't spread fake news. It's a consulate. U.S. Embassy is not located in Cape Town. It's located in Hatfield. That's a consulate. Lovely consulate, though. One of the best ones I've ever seen on the planet. You can call the video 51 Dates for Refugees. Cycling Journey says, good night. I want to start a TV show called Refugees and Frau. Okay, Guy, I see you're trolling again. Okay. Rain in Durban. I know, that's why I said, Guy, you're trolling. Paul von Nordvik said from Bidvest. Well, was it Bidvest, Paul? Okay, but I saw another one from FMB, I thought. There's 2 of them out there. Are reserved for the blue hair folks, okay? May says, despite being told it's okay to have cancer, I still feel that if I get there, I will not load up the system. We'll just live out my life. Well, it's not okay to have cancer. It's just it's saying it's not an impediment. With YouTube Premium, I don't ever receive any ads. It does affect my ad revenue, Flying Dutchman, but I do get YouTube revenue from YouTube Premium. Let me take a look and see. I get a little bit of money from you guys having YouTube Premium. Let me see. Where's it at here? Let me see. Oh, come on. YouTube's not working right today. What is this? Review user agreement. What's this? Huh, it's not. Let me go back there again. I'm trying to see. I'm looking in the wrong place. I know where to look. There we go. I need to look at. Okay, so It's not telling me. It used to see me more. Okay, so used to say YouTube Premium. Yeah, no, I get money. Oh, actually, I've done okay. Yeah, YouTube Premium is paying me. Yeah, wow. I made more money from YouTube Premium, people watching, than I made off my entire channel in January this month. Wow. So yeah, YouTube Premium pays. Don't worry, folks. If you got YouTube Premium, you don't get ads. I get something from that. I get a cut of that. So, yep, thank you for that. Thank you, Flying Dutchman. Yep. I didn't realize I was making that much from it. You can go search, transcript each video keywords. Okay, Carlos, enjoy your day. Thank you, Mandy. Assumption is the mother of all. Yep, it is. Good night, Rebecca. People disappearing now. Paul van Nordvik sent you a screenshot for the Bidverse bursary. Thank you, Paul. Thank you for the 70 Rand. But it was also FMB, I'm pretty sure. Neighbor's farm was activated alarm. Okay, Mad Max, go take care of that. Be careful out there. Wife questioned the pet care company the difference between $15,000 for her own pet directly airline versus $65,000. They sat there with a mouthful of teeth. Yes, Alan, but let me explain. The $15,000 is the airfare. It's not all the ancillary stuff. It's not the chipping. It's not the titer test. It's not the medical stuff. It's not all the immunizations that pets have to have. That's all got to be done. So they can sit there and smile, but but the bottom line. What is going to be helpful to prepare questions? It won't be what? No idea. Prepare questions. What do you mean prepare questions for Ruska? You mean for the interview? Just answer the questions when they ask them. Why would people rehearse for an interview? I never understood that. That's why I never understood why people wanted the question list that we put together. We put the question list together, we made it available repeatedly, and I don't know why people want it. Just answer their questions. Imagine 200,000 uploaded, 200,000 videos. There's no way. That's insane. Whoever told you that is an idiot. People would be a lot more relaxed if they received an email from PRM. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. No, they wouldn't. You tell yourself, delude yourself in that. This was far worse in frickin' March, April, until the 12th of May. This was far worse, these questions every day. Well, I haven't heard. What are you doing? I got an email. No. For 90 days, almost 90 days, this nonsense went on. It wouldn't be better tonight. You just don't know people, man. You don't know people. I know people, and I deal with them every day. It would not be better. What would be better is for U.S. government to come out and provide information on this program. Today, this month, this many people. This month, this many people. We predict this many people next month. And this is what you need to prepare for. You'll come in for this, come in for that. But they're not disclosing any of that, and that's their prerogative. That's their prerogative. Yeah, a video statement of interest. That's a new creative fake news. Yeah, exactly. Saw a news article regarding MK saying banks are weaponized. Sent you the link. Not the FMB one. Okay, thank you, Helen. Maybe it was you that sent it to me. Okay, maybe it was you. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Thank you for that. Oh, it just crashed again. Oh, no, that's a link open up. Okay, got it. Okay, who's that from? Oh, MK put that up. Okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, it's oh, Petzer put that up. There you go. Thank you. Okay, must be African colored or okay. There you go. That is the one, and that's Bidvest. I thought that it is Bidvest. I'm sorry, it was Bidvest. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Gentleman just sent it to me. That's the one I was looking for. It wasn't FMB. My mistake. I need that to make a video. Thank you. That's helpful. Popular on YouTube says, please listen to Chris. Realize you're anxious, but there are rules and regulations. Thank you. Yeah, it's Bidvest. Okay, drinking age. Megan, it used to be 18 almost everywhere, but over the past 30 years, because of mothers against drunk driving, because of the carnage on our highways, 40 years ago, the laws have been steadily increased to 21 in most states. Yeah, most states you have to be 21 to drink alcohol. That's correct. But you can join the military at 16 with your parents' permission. You can die in combat, or not 16, 17 and 17 in combat. You can vote at 18, and that's the age of majority, even though you can't drink. Refugee's much easier process. You get assistance. Oh, Matthew Dixon's trolling Napoleon. Don't even waste time with that. Okay, see you in here. Thank you, Helen Troy. Okay, Prince seems to take forever because people are waiting for it. Carry on as normal. Exactly. That's what I've said. Carry on with your life as normal, and don't worry about things. It'll come to you. Am I correct that my fiance also has to complete a statement? Yes, you're not married. You're not married. You're not a family. We don't take partners. This isn't the UK. Child turns 18 before the case is heard. Well, when you submitted the case, Sam, they weren't 18. If they turn 18 in the meantime and the program hasn't called you in, then your child should submit a statement of interest, would be my expectation. I would change your passwords to sound like you got hacked. Just be safe. That's what I meant. It's not exam prepare. Okay, gotcha. You were stunned? You were busy getting married? Why are you stunned? Did you have to be married to come over? It's for families. You're welcome, Nitro member. I think that they release accurate numbers to the refugees that actually things would really get I think so, and I think that's why they're doing it, Flying Dutchman. Yep. Right, if you don't wait for something, it just comes when you're not expecting it. My wife just sent you a WhatsApp, a reply of someone on Facebook. Yep, that's the same thing, Ian Moon. Thank you. If you have nothing to hide, why would you worry about any kind of questions? Thank you, guys. Wait for mine. Would be nice if we could have a group where we could all communicate with each other through process. Well, there are groups like that, Diana Thompson. People just jump in and spew nonsense, and trolls pop in, and people have evil intent. That's why the 2 WhatsApp groups and the 1 Telegram group that I have that's for refugee information, no one can comment. Only my moderators and I can post there. Google Sheets, form we fill in. That's the only form we fill in for now. Yep. No, there's no email to send, to my knowledge. They don't list the email anymore. So the fact that they've taken the email down and don't tell you how to find it would tell me all you need to know there. Yeah, people are going to get married sooner than they expected. Yep. Utopi, you're welcome. Right, so we've been at this for an hour and 42 minutes. Mark, he says you're incomplete until married and then you're finished. That's it's not going to go over well when people are married. Anyway, have you heard anything new on HR 2607? I have not, Eugene. Nothing new. Congress just passed a big, beautiful bill and then went on vacation. 4th of July. Chug says 90% of applicants leaving stay silent. Hopefully more stay silent, but yep. Anyway, well, that's a lot of questions for today. I think we answered most of them. We've been very mellow and calm. I understand why people want questions. I understand why they want questions. So they're nervous. But you have nothing to be nervous about. The only thing that you need to be able to do is, since the statement of interest mentions, they want to know if you've been a victim of past racial discrimination, injustice, or have a genuine fear of futures, then just get your ducks in a row for that. That's all you need to worry about. If you've got an underlying issue, like you've got, unusual people living in your home that aren't minors and they're part of your family, be prepared to answer that. If you've got some odd thing in your past that's criminal, that may be legitimate, maybe it's not legitimate, be prepared to answer that. Be prepared to bring that up and be honest about it. Mark Kenny wants to trade his wife in. Well, I don't think she's going to fly for that. Okay. Brooke, you're very welcome. No questions. All up to date on your vids from the start. Thank you very much, First Western Cape. Angelique, you're very welcome. All right, so we'll wrap it up here then with 735 people here. Unless you got some more questions, I'll wait for a couple more questions. If they come, looks like people are done for the night. It's 9:30. You grandparents want to go to bed already. Not quite 10 o'clock there. You're all a bunch of old topies there going to bed, not even 10 o'clock at night. I get it. You don't have the energy of a colonel. You don't have the energy of the colonel. I get it, man. You just don't have my energy. The thing announced. Thanks for your efforts. Highly appreciate 14 Rand. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Eugene von Ryan's laughing. Madeline Ruiz, you're very late. We're at the end here. Thanks to the moderators for the work tonight. Helen says, we can't hurry the process. We know things are getting worse, and I think we'll be grateful and kiss the tar in USA when I get there. I'm a youngin', but I feel 90, says Sight Off Connor. Bro, I just got here, says Sylvester. Where the heck have you been, Sylvester? It's been a while. I think I saw you the other day. Mustard olive coaching. I'm trying to figure out what that means. Somebody wanted to hear the song for the MK. I've got that. Let me play that before I go, because we did the Meerkat song, okay? Which one was the good one? I think it was the second one. I'm trying to remember now. Let me get to the Meerkat song. Let me get to it real quick. Don't run off yet, folks. Someone asked about the Meerkat song earlier, but it was inappropriate to do it when I was doing all this stuff. Here's my library. Come on, get to my library here. Come on, soon. It was a little slow today. Okay, Meerkat song. Chris Rocks the House. There's the Meerkats in Space. I think it was this one. Gave it an 80s vibe. OMD. Pet Shop Boys. Some meerkats.
Little meerkats in their suits so tight, rockets blazing through the cosmic night, eyes on the prize in the Martian dust, tiny paws holding interstellar lust, leading the way they leap through the stars. It's the meerkats' mission to claim Mars, building homes under crimson skies, a brand new world through their clever eyes.
Probably on a U.S. airline, direct flight. Nothing through Europe or Dubai.
Past the asteroid rain, through solar winds they feel no pain.
What Americana website?
Digging tunnels in the Martian ground, echoes of chirps the only sound, leading the way they leap through the stars. It's the meerkats' mission to claim Mars, building homes under crimson skies, a brand new world through their clever eyes. Galactic guardians with tails held high, protecting Mars from the unknown night. From dunes to craters they boldly roam, calling this red desert their new home. Leading the way they leap through the stars. It's the meerkats' mission to claim Mars, building homes under
Delta or United?
crimson skies, a brand new world through their clever eyes.
From the vale to the mountains so high, under the vast and open sky, fields of gold where dreams ignite. Let's bring the future into the light. Oh, South Africa, hear our song. Let's right the wrongs and stand so strong. From our gate shores to the Cape's embrace, we'll rise together and reclaim our place. The heart of the nation beats so true, in every soul in red and blue. Politicians who care not ensnare, leaders who lead with love to share. Oh, South Africa, hear our song. Let's right the wrongs and stand so strong. From our gate shores to the Cape's embrace, we'll rise together and reclaim our place. Save the spirit that never dies. Hope still burns in our people's eyes. We'll build a future bright and free, a land of peace and unity. Oh, South Africa, hear our song. Let's right the wrongs and stand so strong. From our gate shores to the
You can't hear me because I can't sing for beans, and I could butcher that song. That's a beautiful song. I can do the country stuff, okay, but that's just butchery there. That's why you didn't hear me. The microphone was turned off. I was just lip syncing that one. That's pretty cool. Nice song. I waited going to bed, but not because I'm old. Sorry, Angelique, that you're not well. Sing like no one is listening. Oh, no. I sing horribly. We don't want to hear that caterwauling. That's not good. So some of them I can get away with. But not that one. All right, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thanks for tuning in for this week's Refugee, Kaffee, Klatsch. I hope you found useful information, and we'll catch you later on. Thanks for being here. God bless and have a lovely evening. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for the likes. We didn't get to 1,000. We did all right. We didn't get to 1,000 views. Wow, I thought we had 5,000. We didn't. 4,900. Shows the interest is dying off. All right, all I can caution or advise is patience and hang in there. I've got videos. I still got the Gettysburg video I got to edit. I still got a video I got to edit on the op-ed from the Zimbabwean commentator about America. We can keep America. He'll keep his Africa. Good for him. And then also I've got some stuff to do from today. Thank you, Flourishing Blanket, 99 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that, okay? IBM stock at 292. Okay, Robert. That's a little bit more than I paid for it, but I've had it for a long time. All right, guys, take care. Hey, look, it's July 6th, July 9th. The bad news arrives for South Africa on the tariffs. Hope it gets better for y'all. Cheers. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you later on. God bless. Cheers.